Barbara Krejcikova wins Ostrava, Djokovic wins Astana, and Taylor Fritz wins Tokyo in lots of 500 level action last week on the WTA and ATP. So we're going to break down those results, talk about what it means, and we're going to look forward to the San Diego WTA 500, which is an absolutely stacked draw, maybe the most stacked I've seen for a 500 level ever. So here's the slice. Let's get into all the action in the 500s from last week and this week. Make sure you do that. We're almost at 15,000, which is awesome and crazy. And if you're watching this video, that means you love tennis. And if you love tennis, you need to subscribe to the Monday Bagel, which is the link below. It's our new newsletter. And what it basically does is just get you up to date with all the rankings, results from last week, the storylines, tennis swag, tennis results in Canada, etc., all in like 5 minutes delivered to your inbox on Monday morning. So it's free and you can be put in the draw to win some merch from us each month. So thanks for doing that. The link is below. And Barbara Krejcikova wins Ostrava WTA 500, beating Iga Swiatek in the final. Something that is impossibly hard to do. I think that's the only time Iga Swiatek has lost the final all year. So it was an epic battle, 3-setter. And it was really cool for Barbara, I thought, to win in front, of the home crowd, the Czech crowd. Finals, I think she had like 5 championship points on like the 5th one, hits an ace to clinch it. Just like crazy scenes there. Really good match, really high level from both of them. It's interesting to see, 2021 French Open champion Krejcikova, and then 2022 obviously French Open champion Swiatek playing on a hard court, and Swiatek's super power from both sides, consistency. It feels like Swiatek gets more of her power from like her racket head speed, and then Krejcikova's taller, gets more of her power from just being like strong and kind of smooth, powerful strokes. Cool like style contrast there. And yeah, just super impressive win for Krejcikova. Swiatek though is still the absolute queen of the castle. She has still more than double the points of the number 2 in the WTA on Jabeur. So she's got over 10,000, which is crazy. Yeah, another person in Ostrava who impressed me was Alicia Parks, a young American. She took out Sakkari, lost in the, I think, quarters to Krejcikova, but that was a nice run from her, and she serves it huge if you haven't seen her already. So in Djokovic's case, though, in Astana, not to be confused with Ostrava, Djokovic wins his 2nd title in a row. He went back to back. So he took out Tsitsipas in the final, which I thought, the start was like a really good match, picking up right where Medvedev Djokovic unfortunately left off. But Tsitsipas was not able to really keep the level where Djokovic's was, and it was actually a pretty simple win for Djokovic. So the match of the tournament was definitely the Djokovic-Medvedev semifinal, which we only got to see 2 sets out of. Super weird, right? So, Medvedev wins the first set, almost, arguably playing a little bit better than Djokovic, having a bit of the edge, even though Djokovic was playing good. He was just getting outplayed by Medvedev. 2nd set goes to tiebreaker. Djokovic plays amazing in the tiebreak, toughs it out, gets the win, pumped up. We're going 3 sets, but then literally at the crossover or the changeover, before they even like sat down, Medvedev just stopped and was like, "Hey, I'm out." And I think he said like, "I pulled something in my groin or I think it was his adductor muscle." I don't even know where that is. Not a doctor. But he basically, and I saw that if you went back and watched the 2nd set tiebreak right at the beginning, you could see Medvedev kind of pull up awkwardly. So he knows his body, and I guess he just pulled the chute there, but he did it, and like he didn't even get the trainer to come out, didn't have any of that, just was like, "Yeah, I'm out of here, bro." So it looked like Djokovic might have just done the classic, like take the soul of the next gen or the younger opponent and just, make him run off the court. But in fact, it was an injury from Medvedev. So I haven't heard anything about when he'll be playing next or how that's going, but that was sad because that was definitely the highest level match we'd seen in a while, in my opinion, since the US Open probably. That was sweet. Medvedev versus Djokovic, just a vintage hard court rivalry now that we've seen play out. So that's a win for Djokovic, another one. So he's now confirmed to be at the ATP finals in Turin. So that's big for him. And then Taylor Fritz wins Tokyo, beating Tiafoe in the final, and then Canadian Shapovalov in the semifinal. Fritz is top 10 for real, I mean, Fritz beat Nadal for the Indian Wells title earlier this year. Should have beat Nadal probably at Wimbledon. Kind of a shame that he didn't, honestly, for him. like an injured Nadal still didn't beat him. He's got a problem with the injured big three, or Djokovic and Nadal, in majors. But he's played a super solid year all year, and in any tournament he's played in, really anyone he's played against, I've always thought he has a super good chance to beat them. So now he's just winning more and more titles. He's got a Masters. He's got a 250 this year, a 500, and a 1000. So yeah, totally deserves to be top 10. He's now number 8 in the world. TFO also playing solid, and Shapovalov, I would say, is back for sure. He had a pretty good Asian swing, made the final in Korea, probably should have won that. Made the semifinal here in Tokyo, had a chance against Fritz. It was pretty 6-4, 6-4. Could have gone either way. Fritz was more solid. So yeah, interesting results there, I'd say, from last week in the 500 level. Which results surprised you? What are your thoughts? Leave them down below. You know what to say. You know what to do. But now let's get into the WTA 500 San Diego preview. It's an amazing draw. 7 of the top 10 ladies are there in the world, including obviously Swiatek, who is going to be the woman to beat. We all know that. The top quarter in the San Diego WTA 500 is absolutely insane. Check this out. These are all the ladies who are in the top quarter alone. It's not a huge draw, right? There's 7 majors titles represented in this group. We got Swiatek, Muguruza, Rybakina, Andreescu, Samsonova, hottest player in the WTA arguably, and Coco Gauff, all in the top quarter. That's just insane. So I don't think you can get, I've never seen a deeper talent pool in one quarter. I think of a WTA draw like that. If you've seen one, you gotta let me know what it is, because that's just absolutely jam-packed full of talent. So, a few of those early round matchups, Andreescu versus Samsonova, tough one for Andreescu, friend of the show. Samsonova's barely lost a match since the summer. So that's gonna be a tough one, but I'm excited for that because they're both just insanely powerful, strong players. Then we got Rybakina versus Muguruza. Rybakina, I feel like she has not got the respect she deserves after winning Wimbledon, crazy town. Haven't really seen much from her, and she said it feels like she's not a major winner based on the court placement she's been getting and stuff like that, and the fact that she doesn't have points. She should obviously be top 10 now, but she's not, so that's just crazy. She's playing Muguruza. We got another Canadian back in action, taking a wild card into San Diego here. Leylah Fernandez, she'll play Kasatkina. That's interesting. And then Caroline Garcia versus Danimal Collins, also in the first round. So those are some first round really good matchups. San Diego, if I was not in Europe, I'd be there for sure. That's a sweet, sweet tournament down there. So we'll see how that goes along. Swiatek's the player to beat there, and she's obviously the player to beat for the rest of the year on the WTA. But it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes down. And I got another question. Is Djokovic now, after winning Ostrava and Tel Aviv, I mean, there's smaller tournaments, but in Ostrava he beat Medvedev and Tsitsipas, and Carlos Alcaraz was there. So even though he's definitely not the ranked number 1 player in the world, is he still the best player in the world? Is he still the player to beat? To me, it looks pretty clear that he will be this player to beat, especially on the indoor hard, as he loves it. But I think the Paris Masters, which I'm hoping to be at, literally was just on the phone with them being like, you got to give me a credential. That is happening, later this month. That's going to be an interesting tournament to see who's really, the king of the indoor hard courts. And then we got Basel, which I'll be at. We got Stockholm coming up, which I'll be at as well. And then there's Vienna as well. So there's lots of indoor tennis to be played still. And my question to you is Djokovic the man to beat? Let me know. So that is the slice. WTA 500 San Diego happening this week. The Monday Bagel getting released later today, probably after you've watched this video. So click the link below, subscribe to the Bagel, and help us out. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time here on The Slice.